Gundy's accomplishments there have raised the floor on this job, because the floor on this job was bottom of the conference a long time ago. And now, if you have the resources, and again, it's a big if you're willing to dedicate the resources to spend on the roster at the full revenue share cap and maybe get yourself some third-party NIL to be competitive with other programs in the Big 12, then you're talking about a program that should be in the middle of the pack at its floor and should be competing for a conference title at its best on a regular basis. That's what Mike Gundy had at Oklahoma State. So if you take that into consideration, I think it's an appealing job. I think this is a job where you don't have to necessarily take a risk on a first-time head coach or somebody unproven. I think you can go get a sitting head coach. Now, it may have to be a group of 5 head coach. Maybe you're thinking of a GJ Kinney, an Eric Morris, somebody like that, and Alex Galesh. I don't know how interested he would be to come to this part of the country, but maybe that's a guy you kick the tires on. But I think you have some real options here. Again, if you have alignment and if you show and prove that you have resources, because one thing that struck my mind and struck me about this whole situation was right before they played Oregon, Gundy talked about how much money they didn't have. And so that's a question for me is you're in a conference now with Texas Tech, who's spending out the wazoo, and I'm not necessarily expecting you to compete with them, but you should be able to compete with everybody else in that league. And when you look at some of their takes in the portal this offseason, it made me wonder how much they really are spending in the portal. And so the next coach is going to have to know, what do we have from a resource standpoint to go get players? And if you have that, then I think you can attract some really good candidates because you have access to the state of Texas from your proximity in Oklahoma. And this is a place that they have invested in facilities, and they have proven in the past that they're willing to invest to win.